Guys, what is up? It is Oh, did that cut off my intro? I'm not quite sure. I'll just do it again. Hey guys, what is up? It is Flag44 here, bringing you another Hawks rambling video. Talking about the Seahawks' most recent game. Feels good to be doing this once again. As I've said previously, I'm not quite sure how long this is going to go. I'm just going to keep talking until I feel like I've wrapped it up well enough and I'm pretty much finished. I'm going to try to load up the box score here for me to base my talk off of, so I can get that going. But overall, very fun game to watch. You can see in the thumbnail here we've got Percy Harvin running it back, and he was just, man, he was just a joy to watch go at it. That was a lot of fun. Having him back, every time he touched the ball, it was like, everyone's holding their breath, seeing what he's going to do with it. I think he just had that one catch. He had a couple of really nice blocks, which was pretty impressive to see. You don't think of Percy Harvin as a guy that's physical and do much in the blocking game, but he looked great. And kind of like Golden Tate, these guys can actually do more than you think they can do sometimes, and so that's pretty nice to see. And I saw a picture of him where he had his shirt off and he was like out there stretching, catching a ball, and this dude is just ripped. Like, holy cow, he is. I mean, his abs are crazy, his lats are crazy. I mean, he is just so muscular. And you even see in this picture, if you look at his bicep, I mean, this guy it's not like this guy is just some skill finesse guy. This guy's actually super strong and all that. So that's, I don't know, it's not just some sort of crazy fluke. So looking over this game, the Seahawks scored 10 points in the first quarter, 14 points in the second quarter. No points in the third quarter, and then 17 points in the fourth quarter. So overall, really solid. Russell Wilson had an 151.4 passer rating, 13 for 18 for 230 yards. Just ridiculous. Just what a great game. I think Marshawn Lynch, he had 70 carries for 54 yards. Not a great game for him, but he still had a couple of nice runs, and I thought he was fine. The big thing is the Seahawks held Adrian Peterson for 21, the Seahawks held Adrian Peterson to 21 carries for 65 yards, excuse me, for a 3.1 average compared to Marshawn Lynch's average of 3.2. So when you win that game, you're in a good place because Adrian Peterson is just ridiculous. The turnover ratio 4-0. I mean, just brutal. Minnesota won the time possession, but it was just a blowout. I mean, it could have been 13-41 or 45-13 in the 50s if the Seahawks kept their starters out there easily. And so just a really solid game. And it was one of those games where it was tighter early on, but it was never really any concern. Like for the first quarter, it was first quarter into the second, it was tied up, and it was kind of like, Minnesota's hanging on, but it's like, okay, come on, Seattle, just pull away at this point, because you can see it kind of leaning that way. So that was good to see them actually do that. Let's see. Percy Harvin, you had that one catch for 17 yards. Doug Baldwin, 2 catches for 63 yards. Golden Tate, 1 catch for 26 yards. Marshawn Lynch, 2 catches for 9 yards. I mean, the Seahawks' biggest wide receiver was Zach Miller, which is kind of interesting, with 4 catches for 69 yards. So it was given to a lot of different guys, which is good to see. And the only injury I've seen, I know of for sure, is Jermaine Curtis is out with concussion. But hopefully, if the Seahawks had a game this next week, it'd be of more concern. But they have this bye week, so hopefully it's not anything too major, and he'll be able to return the week after that for the Saints game on Monday night, which is going to be fantastic because the Saints just won 2 and knocked the 49ers back even farther. So the Seahawks are up like 3.5 games on the 49ers, which is just perfect. If we can beat the Saints in our next game, then we'll be in a really good spot, which will be really, really, really great. I'm really excited for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Then we go down to San Francisco, beat them. I mean, it's going to be really good. And this day went pretty perfectly with everything playing out in the Seahawks' favor. So looking really good. Let's see if there's anything I would need to touch on here. I mean, the defense looked great. Richard Sherman got burned for a touchdown, which is pretty surprising to see, but he recovered after that. He did have a PI call, but that was kind of sketchy. Like, that really shouldn't have been called, and it was uncatchable. So I don't know. I'm really happy with the way this game went. I'm really happy with. I thought the Seahawks played Percy Harvin perfectly, and that they gave him enough. He was in there enough to get comfortable, but he wasn't asked to do a whole lot. And so now he'll be able to get back on Monday night, and they'll be able to use him even more so. They did line him up in the backfield on like 1/3 down, but that got called back, and he was like a fullback sort of deal. So they've already started to kind of implement some of their ideas with him, which is cool to see. Just kind of throwing that out there, maybe for the Saints to game plan against, like knowing that they have the ability to do something like that. The one thing that was kind of concerning is that the sideline reporter said like Percy Harvin is getting his hip stretched out, and so that was kind of like, uh-oh. But once she was saying that, he was already back in the game, and it's like, okay, if the Seahawks are willing to put Percy Harvin back in the game, it must have just been some precautionary stuff. Maybe it was just a little tight, kind of cramping up or something like that, and they needed to get it ironed out. But, he was back in the game, and they did pull him at the end, but they pulled all the starters. So, especially with this extra week, this bye week that's coming up nicely for the Seahawks, should be good. And their offensive line looked really solid. Like, I don't think the Saints had, they had 1 sack, right? Yeah. Wait, it says the Seahawks only had 2 sacks. I thought they had 3 in the first quarter. Maybe that one was overturned or whatever. Yeah, but the offensive line looked really solid. Russell Wilson was fantastic. He could have been even better too, which is crazy. If he needed to go out there and throw for, 400 yards, if that's what they needed him to do, he could have done it. And so, really excited to see them. The offensive line is a huge deal. Christian Michael got only 1 carry, which is kind of unfortunate because I wanted him to get more, but 1 carry for 9 yards, and he's gearing up to be great. Like, Seahawks have a lot of weapons, and now they can really start using them into this playoff run coming up. So that's pretty exciting to see. And I think, the Seahawks might actually be getting close to clinching a wild card spot, which is kind of wild. Like, probably not. I don't think this week, probably not next week, but maybe the week after that. If they can get to 11 wins, that might be enough. And depending on how other teams are played out. Unfortunately, my internet isn't working, so I can't check to see if there's anything on that. Hopefully, someone tweets out and see what needs to happen, because once you have that wild card spot, guaranteed, it just makes everything else a bonus sort of deal. But I don't know. There was some debate early on. Is like, okay, do we want San Francisco to win so the Saints lose, or do we want the Saints to win so the 49ers lose? And in the end, when it was down to it, I wanted the 49ers to lose, which is what happened, because it's all about securing that division title first, and then any bonus after that is great. Like, you can't start like gearing up for the 1 seed if you don't even have the division locked down. So Seahawks looking great. They got to be, like, division looks like it's, if they were somehow below the division, it'd be a big deal and be pretty disappointing. So that's good to know. Looking pretty good there. I don't know, this next week will be pretty fun because we'll just kind of get to sit back and watch and see what the other teams can do and what they're able to do. And, hopefully the 49ers lose another one. And now the 49ers are with the Cardinals at 6-4, which I was rooting for the Cardinals to beat the Jaguars, which isn't too surprising that they did. But I think that even though it would have been better for the Jaguars to beat the Cardinals in, I guess, just pure division runs, I think it in pure record and stuff like that, because then it's like, okay, the worse the division is, the better chance the Seahawks can win it. But I think this kind of gives a competition. It's like, it sets the competition for the 49ers up as, okay, they're really fighting with the Cardinals for that 2 spot, while the Seahawks kind of secured themselves as the 1 spot. Like, the 49ers have to beat the Cardinals, although they already have beat out the Cardinals for second place before they can try to take on the Seahawks for first place. So that's always good to see. And both teams, the Saints and the 49ers, from watching the end of that game and little bits of it, look like the Seahawks could beat them no problem. Whether that happens, we'll have to see. Obviously, the NFL, you don't really know what's going to happen, but both teams have some big flaws that can be exploited. And I think while the Seahawks do have flaws, they're just so complete. And the crazy thing about the Seahawks is, you can never count them out. Even if they have a slow start, even if they don't are down, it's like they can come right back, and all of a sudden they'll be up like 28 on you, like they did in this game. But I mean, obviously good game, but it's not like the Seahawks just upset a team and just destroyed a playoff team this year. I mean, the Vikings were a playoff team last year. The Vikings do have some talent. The Seahawks are just way better, and I don't know, the Vikings quarterback situation is really interesting because, I mean, Ponder was not very good. They put Castle in there. I think it's just kind of like, I don't know if that was like a benching of Ponder or just put the backups in, because I don't think Peterson was in there once Castle was. But man, that Ponder is not the option. I mean, and then it's like they tried Freeman, but they made him inactive now. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know why you wouldn't let him have a couple more chances. I mean, I guess they think they still sort of have a shot, but you're not gonna. They're pretty much out of it at this point. You're not gonna make the playoffs at 8-8 in this season. So I don't know. They've got an interesting decision. They'll probably use their top draft pick on a quarterback this year and try to fix that problem. But I'm glad the Seahawks don't have that issue. That's certainly good. And this is gonna be, I don't know, a fun week to kind of analyze this game, and then fun next week, and then even more fun the week after that. So it should be good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.